Some record companies may be nothing but a bunch of greedy assholes, but there are some that are actually pretty cool. Season of Mist, an independent label in France that focuses solely on heavy metal, is one such company. Last year I was purchasing their vinyl reissues of Forest Poetry, Strength and Anger, and the self-titled album by Iljarn. I purchased each individual album at separate times, and every single time that I bought another album they would send something with it. One of the bands that they sent along with it is the subject of today's review. Today we are taking a look at the technical doom metal band Confessor. Today's review will probably be a bit shorter than the previous ones because we're doing an EP instead of a full-length album. Confessor formed in 1986 in Raleigh, North Carolina. They released their first demo, entitled The Secret, the following year in 1987. They were silent in 1988, but in 1989 they put out their second demo, entitled Uncontrolled. In 1990 the band put out their third and final demo, entitled Collapse, and this demo would see them signed to Earache Records. They would enter the studio the following year and in October would unleash their very first album, entitled Condemn. While this album was well reviewed and well received by critics, it remained a very underground release, and the band never really gained any mainstream popularity, even by heavy metal standards. They followed up this release the following year with an EP simply titled Confessor. The band would enter the studio in 1994 and attempt to record new material, but nobody could agree on what exactly they wanted to record or where they wanted to go with their sound, and the band kind of fell apart as a direct result of this. Sadly, in 2002, the original Confessor guitarist Ivan Colin passed away. May he rest in peace. The band got back together to do some tribute shows to him, and they stuck around to record some new material as well. In 2004, for the first time in 12 years, the band would put out a brand new EP of all new material entitled Blueprint for the Soul. This brings us to the subject of today's review. The following year, in 2005, the band put out another EP entitled Sour Times. This EP is what we will be taking a look at today. The first track on the EP is the title track, Sour Times. It immediately kicks off with both vocals and guitar. I would describe the vocal style utilized by the band as something of a clean wail. Think something similar to Ozzy Osbourne, but a bit deeper of a voice. The riffing from the guitarist is very slow, but it is steady and it is pretty complex, especially for doom metal. It really shows off the talent that these guys have. It is rather technical. At just shy of 6 minutes in length, this is the longest song on the EP. The drumming goes above and beyond what you would expect from any normal drummer. The beats not only keep beat, but they are very complex as well. They are expertly played. At about 3.5 minutes in, the riff changes and it gets even slower than it did when it started. Despite the song being almost 6 minutes long and the band demonstrating a lot of technical ability in this track, there's a noticeable lack of a guitar solo on it. The second track on this EP is called Hibernation. The skills of this particular band are on full display on this track from the moment that it starts. This track plays out at a little bit of a faster pace than the title track did. The riff gets even more complex at about 1 minute and 45 seconds into it. The footwork on this particular track is easily the best I've ever heard from any doom band that I have listened to. The vocals on this song do tend to get a little bit more aggressive when the singer yells the title of the track, Hibernation! Unlike the song Sour Times, this particular track does happen to have a guitar solo, and as you would expect from a band this talented, it is extremely well crafted and beautiful. The drumming on this track goes to another level towards the end, and the final riff on this song is absolutely amazing. The third track on this album is called Condemned. It's a remastered version of a track from their Collapse demo. This song both feels and plays radically different from everything else on this EP. It is significantly faster and more aggressive, and the guitar tone is noticeably different from the rest of the music on here. The vocals on this track are a lot more harsh than the rest of this. They are shouted, they are not sung, almost as if this was meant to be a thrash metal song. In fact, this entire song gives off a bit of a thrash vibe. Not that that's a bad thing, it's well crafted. And as you would expect from having heard the other songs on this EP, it is fairly technical as well. However, I will say this, the songwriting on this particular song does not feel quite as mature as it did on Hibernation and Sour Times. It does have a genuine energy that really carries the song, however, and this track does contain another guitar solo. I like it quite a bit, although I'm sure some people might argue that it feels a little bit out of place considering everything else that is on this EP. The final song on this is another version of Sour Times. It's just an alternate cut of the title track. It's a radio edit of the song, so about 2 minutes of the original version are missing. And what do you want me to say about this? It's the same song made shorter. I could say that I enjoy the longer version of it more simply because it is longer and there's more of it to enjoy. Why is there a radio edit on this EP anyway? When was the last time you heard any doom metal at all on the radio? With the exception of Black Sabbath, of course. While I won't call this EP an essential slab of doom metal, I will say that I enjoy it quite a bit, and I definitely don't regret being sent a free copy of it. Thank you, Season of Mist. I really appreciate that. I definitely do not regret them making me aware of this band. I was not aware of this band, and I wasn't even aware that technical doom metal was a thing until I heard this. Sure, I knew about doom metal and liked it quite a bit, but technical doom metal? That was a new one for me. If you like doom metal and you find this EP fairly cheap, I would say go ahead and pick it up. I wouldn't pay full album price for this, but if you find it cheaper than that, go ahead. It's good. You'll probably enjoy it. Regardless, I would say you should check out Confessor and give some of their music a listen. They're pretty good. This band is extremely skilled, and I do consider them to be worth your time. Hey, I've done a whole series of these reviews before. Click here to check out the last one I did, which is a severely underrated Swedish metal band called Divine Sin with their first album, Winterland. Then click here to check out my review of the album Sanity Obscure by the technical thrash metal band Believer from Pennsylvania. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you could share this video, that would help me out a lot as well, and I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, talk to you later everybody. Bye.